Hey everybody, it's Moonbo here, and welcome back to more, what is it, Endless Scrap Mechanic, I think it is. And today we are gonna be doing something really cool, guys, because this is the start of a new journey and something new on the channel. I'm calling it Tile Tuesdays. How clever is that? So that's right though, we are gonna be getting a new tile every Tuesday on the channel, so whether that's something that I make or maybe something that's been submitted to me, it doesn't matter. Either way, every Tuesday I want to have a video out that is going to be a new tile and some type of new adventure in the game. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, but as you guys can see right here, I have a new tile for today, and it is a very extremely epic moon kind of tile set. So I've actually made 4 tiles, I believe it is, and they each have very unique features. So we are going to be going around and checking it all out. And look at this. Let's actually let's get off of this seat here. We're this cool, really cool kind of moon man, and actually I should probably mention that this entire world looks so good right now because it is using a mod. This mod was made by a few awesome guys named Dartfrog, Izappertron, and Shine Vision. So I'm gonna leave a link in the description, guys, for you to go and check it out. Before we actually check out this really awesome low gravity moon rover that I made, that's right guys, it has low gravity settings inside of it. It's really weird. It's a lot of fun to drive. And before we do that and go around and discover this moonland, let's head on over to the tile builder because I want to make one more custom tile for this moon world, and I also want to show you guys the process of making all of these moon tiles. So let's head on over. Alright, in the tile editor, I absolutely love it here. It is so much fun. So the moon tiles, though, they're all really big tiles. So this one, I'm going to make it very unique. It's going to be a small tile. We don't need it to be too big. Oh, wow, look at this. I have the space mod in the tile editor right now. That is actually pretty surprising. I didn't expect that. Alright, so this is what I did, though, to create that awesome moon world. We just go right here, and I believe the best one is concrete, actually. And I just like to make it the biggest it can go right there, and here we go. We can really quickly turn this entire area into the concrete texture, and there we go. We now have our very moon style kind of landscape. And the best thing you can do actually is go here and use your height tool. So I'll show you guys real quick how I made all of those awesome craters, and it's actually really simple. You just kind of select your terrain height, and you can kind of just zoom out a little bit, and you hold down Control, and that will actually allow you to create those little impressions on the ground around you. Now, I think, though, if you increase the strength, if you increase the strength here, you'll notice that you'll get much sharper edges around the circle of your crater there. And I think, actually, it's much better if you go straight overhead and do your craters like that. So if you just kind of quickly click it a few times there in the same spot, there we go, and you get some really, really neat looking impact zones here. So that's not really what I wanted to focus on, though, on this tile. This tile is going to be a little more unique. I cleared the board because I already have plenty of craters. Now this is going to be way more unique. So it is going to be a crater nonetheless, but this one is actually going to have something very special. So I just make one big circle like so, and then you go back to the height tool and you change your size down, maybe somewhere around here maybe, to 17, and then you just kind of circle around the entire perimeter of your crater like this. I think that's relatively good. Now, sometimes I'll also grab the smooth tool and get a bit bigger of a brush like that and just smooth out these edges right here. So that's a pretty good looking crater now. So I'm gonna actually try and color the inside here. Now this is kind of where this one is going to get a little bit more interesting, so I don't want it to be too strong. Maybe this size right here. There we go. Look at that. Alright, so we're just going to kind of brush in a really nice dark color at the impact zone right here. Might be a little bit off-centered here, so let's just kind of add a little bit more on this side to make a little more sense. Maybe even very lightly feather the edges to make it look a little sooty. Oh man, I feel like Bob Ross right now, you know? Some happy little craters here. Alright, so we're gonna make some weird gemstones, I think. So if we just kind of flip this up like that, roll it off to the side, maybe make that one a little bit bigger. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit here actually and use a couple different rocks as well. I don't want the pattern to be too repetitive. Alright, so that's looking pretty sweet actually, but you know what? I think I'm actually going to paint even more of this area black because I just got a really good idea while I was placing all of those rocks down there. The whole thing's painted black now, so I am just going to actually quickly select all of these, and this is the idea that I had. So what if we go over here and change the colors of these to kind of like that Moonbo style a little bit. So there we go. We have some type of gemstone in the middle. Maybe it flew from space. Who knows what it is. And I have a really good idea here. Let's grab the color on this one. Alright, so there it is. This is the finished little moon crater thing that we have done up, and this is a unique one, so we're gonna save it. I think I will save it as... I'm pretty sure I made 4 of these, so we're gonna call it Moon Tile 5. Alright, so this is a bit of an issue here. I can't see the terrain because of the mod right now. That is my own mistake, but you know what? I can see what I can and can't put down. But actually, I wonder... Alright, so I loaded the world in. I still can't see anything. Alright, I can kind of see stuff. So you know what? I don't want to put it anywhere that there's already something pretty important. So let's find it. Alright, there it is. And I think I'm just going to pop it right here. Because you know what? Let me just... See, you can see there's really nothing here. So we're just going to stick it right there. Alright. I hope it went there. I don't know if it went there or not. I might have to turn this mod off, but we're gonna save the world and overwrite it. So let's check out these awesome tiles. Alright, so now it is time to check out this awesome low-gravity moon rover that I have built to explore these new tiles. So this thing is actually pretty cool. It's using a couple mods. We got the MJM Sci-Fi mod, as well as the mod packs there, so let's just open this up. So this is pretty cool, actually. To get in, I like to just press that one right there, and as you can see, we lower the entire rover down, and then we can open up our door. We can get a nice little step right here, and we can hop right inside. So there's a few things that make this rover a little unique. So if I get the connection tool out, I'll show you guys a few features that this thing does have. So obviously, like I showed you when we got in, you can see that the wheels here, they change their angle. So you can get this nice low profile like you see right here, or you can boost it up and make it so that you have a lot more ground clearance by simply pressing that switch there. So you can see, there we go, we have tons of room to go over rocks and stuff like that, and big craters, of course. And this one is designed so that you can actually open it up like this right here. So, I mean, I was playing around with it so that you could get in when it was up here like that, but I think I just preferred it so that you would press that right there, and then you can hop right into the vehicle. Alright, so among other things, though, this thing also has a couple thrusters inside of it as well. So one thing I will tell you guys is, if you go into this low profile mode right here, that will activate a secondary set of thrusters. Now, this uses a kind of like a W and S converter in a sense. So as you can see right here, there's actually an engine hooked up to this little L right here. So when I press the gas on the seat, this will actually kick up and activate that sensor, which will activate the thrusters. So what that does, though, is because of a little bit of logic right here, if you actually press this and you boost the wheels up like that, those thrusters will no longer activate. So that was just like a bit of a toggle to turn the thrusters on and off, because when it was up on full height, this thing tends to flip over. And now another thing is, I was mentioning it is kind of like low gravity, so what I did was I added some thrusters. Now, of course, you can turn these thrusters on and off whenever you want to, but I obviously like to keep them on, so that way we can truly imagine that we are actually on the moon. So if we press the 1 key, we can shut our door right there. The 2 key, that is the one that will switch you in between your wheel modes like that. You can kind of do a little bit of a push-up workout with it. And this is actually using 4x1 suspension. So this suspension is a little bit longer than your normal vanilla stuff. And obviously it just kind of drives around here. Alright, so let's go for a little bit of a spin, though. And I'm going to activate the low gravity in a second. I just want to show you guys. So this is kind of like, you know, this is us driving around. You can see we have these really cool craters here. They are loads of fun to just kind of jump around in. The 4x1 suspension gives you that little bit of extra bounce as well. So it definitely makes it a lot of fun. Now, that is, of course, just a quick little example without the thrusters on, giving you that low gravity. Now, if I press the 3 key, though, that turns low gravity on, and you can actually get a little bit more air and stuff like that. So there you go, look at that. Oh man, so it's just enough to make it subtle in a sense, you know. I was really playing around with the thrusters, though, and it did take me a little bit of time to calibrate it for like a low gravity kind of setting. But it's a lot of fun, because you can actually see, if we get a little bit of a low angle here as we drive around, the wheels just kind of come off the ground sometimes, and they will float there for a little while. And actually, this thing is really good at doing some pretty epic wheelies as well. Alright, so let's kind of just explore a little bit more, and let's see what I added to these tiles. So let's see here, we got a really big crater here. Uh-oh, I just flipped. I will mention, though, I added something, because this happens pretty often. You can actually just flip yourself back over using some thrusters, and look at that, away you go. Now, this is a little bit of a predicament here, though, especially with the low gravity. You kind of have a bit of a hard time getting out sometimes, because the thrusters are inherently pushing you up and away, so unfortunately that can cause some issues. But that's why I added that low profile there and the added thrusters, so that you can get yourself out of anything. And so that way you can literally just kind of put your wheels back into your roving mode if you wanted to. But if you want to explore as quick as you can and wrap things up or something like that, then you can press the 2 key and you start to go a heck of a lot faster. Alright, so I put the new tile that we made earlier, I put it in the world. I couldn't see anything. I don't know if it was a good idea or a bad idea. But let's look around at a few more of these things here now that I'm done talking about this creation, and let's try and find it. Alright, look at this. So I added these things right here. Look, that is some spectacular... Uh-oh, what is going on? Alright, the low gravity can sometimes screw you up a little bit. But this is like some type of like plate moving kind of mountain range thing, I suppose. I do love these minor little craters everywhere. You can even see over here, there are craters within craters as well. I always remembered seeing that kind of stuff when you see like surface of moon images. Oh man, look at that. That's an extremely deep crater right there. And there's just craters of all sorts of shapes and sizes, much like the moon. Unfortunately, some tiles did mesh, but that is because, look at this, guys. Oh my goodness, look at the size of that impact. Oh, we gotta put low gravity on and full thrusters. This is my favorite part of this world, and I think it's my favorite tile, actually. This crater is massive. I can't even begin to explain the size of it when you compare it to all the other ones. And it really lets you get some really sick air as well, especially with the low gravity. Alright, whoa, that was a pretty big rock. Let's actually just test this. So this is off of the low gravity. We're just kind of doing it normally, but look at the ground clearance. This thing can take on a lot of these larger rocks that you will find around here. So without the low gravity, it is a pretty decent vehicle, but as soon as you add the low gravity, you can kind of run into some problems. But look at that. Ah, this thing is pretty sweet. Oh boy. Ah, perfect. Now, the question is, where on earth is that new tile? I'm so curious. Let's reactivate the speed up here. And I don't know. Remember, we couldn't see anything at all. So I'm hoping it's somewhere nearby. I don't even know if I was close to the edge or not. We have all sorts of craters, though. Alright, why am I not in the full speed boost here? You know what, while we're at it, we might as well go for another zip down here. Whoa, did you see that? I'm like floating there. Oh man, look. I left my door open too. Alright, let's get some massive speed. We gotta find this new crater. I'm gonna try and maybe get a little bit of air here. Can we see anything? Anything over there? Over here? No. Oh man, where is this thing? I think what I might have to start doing is like some laps around this entire world. I don't know. This thing is elusive, you know, and I think that was my intention actually, was to make it hard to find. I didn't want it so that you could just find it easily. I mean, that thing is a unique gem on this map. What kind of moon is this? Who put that fence there? Oh, look, I see something. Oh no, don't tell me. No. Oh, I think it's here. It is. Okay, it's a lot smaller than I was thinking, and oh, look at this. What? Where did I put this? Oh man, that's a little upsetting. That's kind of unfortunate that it ended up this way. So lesson learned though, guys. If you're gonna use that mod, then make sure you do all your tile editing on your moon world before you get in there. All right, so let's flip this over though, and let's just drive right in. I don't know, is something stopping us? Okay, I think the crater might be. All right, you know what? This is where we're gonna get off here. Best parking job ever, right? All right, there we go. Let's work our way back here into there we go. Okay, look at that. I gotta say, that's 10 out of 10 right there. All right, this is it though. This is the unique, crazy crater that has some type of stones at the bottom. This looks really cool, actually. Now, it's extremely unfortunate, I must say, that it ended up right here along one of the hillsides, so I could definitely fix that up a little bit. But I mean, these are a bunch of tile pieces that you guys can use, and that's why they're up on the workshop, so you guys can have some fun with them and make your own unique worlds. And you can probably even check out this really cool moon rover with some low gravity on it. It's a lot of fun. So there it is, guys. That is some really cool moon tiles for the first episode of Tile Tuesdays. If you guys want to see more Tile Tuesdays, then let me know down in the comments, or maybe even by hitting that like button. You can also put some suggestions down there for some tiles that you would like to see built for the next episode of Tile Tuesdays. And I think this is going to be a great series, and I think it's just going to kind of show the true potential in Scrap Mechanic, and our creative limits are going to be expanded more and more every time, and we're going to learn more as we go along too. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to Endless Scrap Mechanic. If you enjoyed this, then make sure you hit that like button, and if you want to see some more of it, then hit that subscribe, maybe even turn on notifications too, and you can get the latest and the craziest coming from me in Scrap Mechanic. So thank you again, guys, and I will be seeing you in the next one, so bye for now.